HOSA, a club so degenerate that if you walked into any given meeting, I bet you that half the kids there could not tell you what HOSA stands for. HOSA, Future Health Professionals. This club is outrageous. The thing about HOSA that pisses me off the most is that when you go into the club, you're not going in with the expectation that it's just like a time filler resume pattern, okay? When you show up to any NHS meeting for National Honor Society, you know that the only reason you're there is to add another extracurricular to your college application list, another leadership position, or a few more volunteering hours. With HOSA, you go in with the pretense that like you're about to actually do something. It's a health club, right? So if you want to be a doctor in the future, you should sign up to HOSA. You should go to the events and competitions, get leadership positions. Nah, I'm trying to expose the goofiness that is HOSA right here, alright? This has gone on for far too long. First of all, Health Occupation Students of America. That's what the club is called. It's not called, I want to be a doctor in the future. I'm going to be honest, I'm pretty sure the entire club is oriented around people who want to go into fields like nursing and maybe physical therapy, but somehow the messaging has been shifted over the years to where if you want to be a doctor, you sign up for HOSA. And so at my high school, we had a massive HOSA chapter. This thing was like 100 students, maybe 150 at this point, and all of them showed up because they wanted to be doctors. I didn't know one person there who was trying to be a nurse or a physician's assistant. Now all of this is fun and games, until you actually get involved in the club with the intention of becoming a doctor, and you realize that the club really doesn't have that level of groundedness in medicine like you thought it would. You probably signed up for the club because your homie was like, yo, I'm doing HOSA, everyone else is doing HOSA, we're all getting all these gains, these connections to medicine, haha, you're missing out. My dumbass in 9th grade, I fell for that trap. I fell for it, straight up. I was in 9th grade, all my homies did HOSA, I didn't even know HOSA was a thing. So best believe when 10th grade came around, I was like, yo, I'm not about to be the one who gets caught lacking. I'm not falling behind. I'm getting involved in HOSA. So I participated in HOSA in my 10th grade year. Y'all know what my category was? You know what my category was? Prepared speaking. Dude, all I did was show up to HOSA and give a 5-minute talk about CRISPR-Cas9 gene editing. I spent 4 months preparing that 5-minute speech only to show up and absolutely body my competition out of the water. Now, if you were thinking right now, well, Pratik, that's just you. There's a lot more categories and opportunities in HOSA that you weren't taking advantage of. I hate to break it to you, man. That's a fair thought to have. It's just not true. First of all, the competition is mad goofy, okay? I don't know anywhere else that you can show up in a full suit with maroon tie. That's the HOSA attire, and get an extra like 25 bonus points towards your overall score. I swear to God, I showed up to my public speaking category event. There was maybe like 30 other kids there, and like easily half to 2/3 of them did not even have that suit. You telling me right now that they're about to outscore me by the deficit that they get from not showing up in the suit, bro? Get out of here, bro. Get out of here. Now, from what I remember, there are 3 main types of competitions. There are the tests that you take outside of HOSA, and then you just kind of show up to receive your award. And then when you go to nationals, there's like another level of competition added to it. There are the bowls, which is like, if you know like the science bowl, chem bowl, that type of stuff, they do those in HOSA for HOSA related events. And then third is more like the on-demand speaking and performance type things like debates, the prepared speaking that I did. There's some level of like health poster presentation type stuff. There is some level of goofiness that goes on in all of these. If you decide that, okay, I'm gonna be a good boy, study for my exams, learn something, get something out of HOSA, and you decide to prepare for, dog, you could prepare 2, 3 months, 6 months for your test that you take. I'm telling you right now, it don't even matter, because you're about to lose to some kid who's sitting in the back of the testing room, cheating the entire test because it's supposed to be proctored and it's not. I know all of these kids cheat. You could also do some of the debate stuff. I'm not gonna lie, that stuff is actually kind of cool, kind of valid. I know some people do it, but that's not what the majority of students do. Our school had like 2 or 3 debate teams, which consisted of like 10 students total. What about the rest of the 90% of the kids? What are they about to do? The amount you actually take away from this club is near zero, okay? You might have like 1 or 2 doctors like show up to your school and do some level of performance. That's all based on how much your club is actually willing to get involved. But HOSA themselves, they don't do anything. And now we need to direct our attention off of just like the club and what's offered in this sense to what the actual organization of like HOSA, the people who are running this behind the scenes, what are they doing? Dog, can we talk about for a second the fact that HOSA is like ridiculously expensive? There is absolutely nothing that is covered on their end. You have to pay for everything. You see, I come from a background of competing in science fairs that are sponsored. You know why the science fairs are sponsored? Because they're actually useful. You have high school students who are working on novel research projects that have truly committed time and hours towards advancing a new scientific field, and therefore they're rewarded for it. Dog, nobody trying to sponsor a HOSA, bruh. Nobody. I had to draw $400 to go compete and give a 5-minute speech. You know how many people were in my audience for that speech? 1 dude! There was a single judge there. And bro left halfway through. People were presenting and some other lady came in to judge the rest. Like, what happens to those kids? I can't even stress how much I actually prepared for this speech because I thought that there was an actual competition about to go down. I'm saying all of this, what place do you think I got? If you said anything less than first place, my category, my presentation was on the first day we showed up. It was on like a Wednesday. We were stuck there till like Saturday, okay? I was just sitting there after I gave my speech doing absolutely nothing. And at the very end, when that award ceremony came around, they called me up. They called the top 5 people onto the stage. They start handing out the medals. Yo, I stood in the middle because I knew my ass was about to win that first place. I walked up, I snatched that medal, put it right around my neck. I did a little salute, a little kiss to the fans in the audience, and I walked off, alright? Because that's how easy this competition is. Jokes aside, if you're showing up to HOSA and you're about to do HOSA, you better be winning that first place award. I'm telling you right now, this is the freest competition ever. Like, the people you're competing against are like, they're actual NPCs. Like, if you're not showing up to HOSA in the attire itself, then you have no intention of winning. And don't even get me started on what happens after you win, like, your local state fair. After this, you have the opportunity, if you place in the top 3 of any given category to go to nationals. Sponsored by you and your parents, alright? It cost about $2,000 to have the opportunity to go compete at the National HOSA Fair. I got lucky that when I was in 10th grade, that was the COVID year. So our competition was online, and guess what? Everyone cheated in that too. Stupidest thing ever. HOSA just keeps getting more and more degenerate. But in any other given year, bro, you think I'm about to drop that kind of bag? If you were thinking about, like, considering making HOSA your #1 extracurricular, if you're dropping $400 to go to the state event, by the way, you have to pay for your own food and all that, and then you're spending another $2K on nationals, by the time your 4 years in high school are up, you just dropped $10,000 on HOSA. Do you truly feel that you got that level of reward back? I don't know. I think this video is getting my point across. I'm not really the biggest fan of HOSA. If you're about to do the club, just do it and just win. That is the least you can do for getting absolutely robbed by whatever company is out here scamming these high school students. Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Pratik, I'm out.